All right, guys. Thanks for tuning back in to Superior Fandom. This is the Nate and Joe Show. I'm Nate Joyner. This is my partner, Joe Holt.
What's up?
And Jarrett Young.
Hi.
And joined by Mike Gong, our producers.
How's it going, kids?
Before we get into it tonight, actually, we're going to talk to you about, or not really talk to you, just let you know about what's going to happen on Super Bowl Sunday. Everyone who's listening to us or who has tuned into us at some point, and if you're a regular, first and foremost, thanks for supporting us. Every little bit of support is huge.
All 10 of you I consider my close personal friends.
It's true.
10. Wow, did we make
Probably
it double
because
digits?
you are.
Exactly. But we are doing our very first live broadcast on Sunday at 1 o'clock from the Down and Out in downtown LA, the Down and Out Sports Bar. The best sports bar in downtown, actually, if you ask me. I mean, hell, I work there, but I am a little bit biased, but I think it's the best, probably the best in LA.
I don't work there. I still say it's the best.
There you go. But yes, we are doing that at 1 o'clock. It's going to be epic.
There's going to be free pizza.
Yeah.
From our friends at Chapman Pizza.
Really?
So show up early before...
Chapman is bringing 10 pies at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, so
Chapman.
you better
Yeah.
show up at 12:30
Exactly.
and line up, motherfuckers,
It's
because
gonna be
it's going to
good.
be gone by a quarter after.
And you never know. If you do show up and listen to us, hell, it's a good possibility that Joe and I will probably buy you a shot or five. We're pretty excited about this.
5, I'm balling on a budget, buddy. Speak for yourself.
Well, I get half off at the bar, so.
You bastard.
Anyways, if you can't make it to the bar, please support us and tune in. You can find it at 1 o'clock at superiorfandom.com. Or are we putting it
There'll
anywhere
be
else?
a link on our website to check out the live broadcast. You'll be able to get live audio.
Okay.
And then we're possibly some video after the fact. But either way, it's going to be good. Regardless, you fuckers live in downtown LA. Come to the bar and watch the Super Bowl. You don't have anything better to do.
We do have some folks that actually tune in that do not live in LA. So there's a few of you. There's not a lot of them, but there are a few of them.
Getting international up in this.
Well,
at least national.
Maybe like regional. I think somebody told me they tuned in from San Diego yesterday.
No, we got a couple.
We're really getting down the 405. We're really doing that one.
I know for a fact we got a couple in North Carolina that listen to us as well.
I love North Carolina.
Love you, Rob. Love you, Tina. But yes, tune in or come yell obscenities at us at the bar. It's going to be fun. Joe's going to be running around with a wireless mic, interviewing and insulting people. It's going to be phenomenal.
I'm not running anywhere.
Well, he's going to be rolling around and interviewing and insulting people. It's going to be phenomenal.
So he says, hey, Nate, let's talk about Kevin Durant. He's killing it. I think he put up 40, hit a game winner tonight against the Hawks, man.
Again, yeah.
Guy's the man.
The guy, and I've told Joe this, although, you guys, I know I've badmouthed the NBA for a while, and I'll still badmouth it, but I love the NBA, I try to support it, but it drives me nuts. But the reason I love it is because when it comes to watching guys like Kevin Durant play basketball, he makes it fun to watch basketball. Everything he's been doing for the last, going on a month now, for God's sakes, and especially the last 2 weeks, he's been balling out of his head. He's on an 11-game, 30-point streak, which is just unprecedented. 2 weeks in a row, he's gotten Player of the Week, averaging almost 40 points a game in those 2 weeks. The guy's a monster. He got the new nickname by a guy on Twitter called the Slim Reaper, which I dig, but he's not a big fan of apparently. But I don't know. The guy, he makes the game fun, and right now, in my opinion, he has eclipsed the self-proclaimed King James as the best player in basketball, because everything Kevin Durant is doing is for his team and as an individual is far beyond anybody in the NBA right now. I
give you what Kevin Durant is doing in the moment is absolutely nothing short of superhuman. He's kept Oklahoma City as the best team in the West, if not the whole NBA, with Russell Westbrook out. He's entirely put that team on his back. And in doing that, he's allowed Scott Brooks and the crew over there to develop guys like Jackson, and I think that's going to help them immensely as they move forward and play, the Pacers and the Spurs and the Clippers and the rest of the, top tier of the Western Conference. The fuck are you doing? Nate just did a rain dance in the.
I did. I had a point
right
to say, and then my brain went blank. I guess alcohol does actually affect the brain. It's amazing.
I don't know. We'll go back to Kevin Durant. Like let's talk about this. This hasn't really been spoken about. But David Stern, the longest tenured commissioner
30 years
in professional sports in North America, is stepping down on the 1st of February. So that's Monday, I guess. Yeah, like a week from today, David Stern is no longer going to be the commissioner of the NBA, and I just kind of wanted to take a look back at what he's been able to accomplish and just kind of get everybody's thoughts on what that was, because he's done a tremendous job over the years of just really developing the NBA as a brand. And really cleaning it up as well as exposing it to the international market. I mean, shit, he not only created stars like Yao Ming and Dirk Nowitzki and the like, and spread it, and with God knows how many like players are now drafted internationally in the draft, but I mean, he created the Dream Team. You know what I mean? That was 94. That's probably 92. The greatest team.
Was it 92?
Yeah, probably. That was right when the Olympics split. So yeah, probably 92, because 96 was Atlanta. Yeah, all right, you're right. That's why Jarrett gets paid the big bucks. All right, so the Dream Team was 92, but I mean that was arguably the greatest team that was ever assembled for any sport ever. And then not only to do that, but to leverage what he did in doing that, and then cultivate television deals in 215 nations. I mean, think about that for a second. The NBA has television deals in literally 215 countries. I can't name 215 countries. Like, that's fucking insane to me. All right? And then not only that, but simultaneously as he was doing that, he developed NBA.com and oversaw the NBA's like birth into social media, and basically created every channel out there possible for the fans to criticize him. But he created it. You know what I mean? Do you see like Alexander Graham Bell like getting hate mail for making a telephone? Like, when you think about it, like, he really fucking created that. And I just think we gotta pay a little homage to like what I would call like the greatest commissioner in professional sports. And I know that, it's not all shitting rainbows with David Stern.
No, it's not.
He did a wonderful job.
He did a phenomenal job. But the problem with David Stern is that he is, well, yeah, and Chris Schindler, when we were talking about this earlier today, said it best. Absolute power does
corrupt absolutely.
And it's the guy back in, everyone who's watched basketball in their lives remembers back in the 70s and 80s, or at least they've seen replays of the 70s, and they've seen replays of Los Angeles and Celtic rivalries in the 80s, and back when they used to just it was college basketball before they made the new rules. They actually let them play. They let them get after each other. As much as he did for the game, and he did, like, he's done a ton for the game. But now it's you have these guys that just flop around. It's like they're playing soccer, for God's sakes. And trust me, I grew up playing soccer for 15 years. I love soccer. but soccer drives me batshit crazy as well because of the flopping. And the flopping in basketball has gotten just as bad. And I know they're trying to find guys and whatever now, but the flopping is still there because they know if they get touched and they fall down, it's a foul. Or hell, sometimes they even get fined for it. And then that's also because of David Stern. So I mean, he has been a phenomenal commissioner in the NBA. I'm not going to argue with that. But today's NBA, there's a reason that I'm a much bigger supporter of college basketball than I am of the NBA. Because college basketball, those kids are you can still see the passion. You can still see the fight and the fire in them. And you used to see that in the NBA. And today, you don't see it, in my opinion.
I think there's a larger trend of college basketball trying to be more like the NBA of old.
Well, as of this year, that's what they're trying to get at.
Yeah, and they're talking about shortening the shot clock.
And the new rules of college basketball, it's a little annoying, but
do you really think that with the new rules of college basketball, they're promoting a more physical game? Because I sort of personally see it the opposite. I think they're kind of taking some of the contact away.
They're not promoting a more physical. I agree with you. College basketball has been physical up to this year.
Yeah,
and you're right.
Fair enough. And now, I mean, sure, flopping is kind of promoted some of the softness. I understand that. But I'm going to talk. Obviously we could go into the bad boys and the Celtics of the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s. That's just where I started to watch basketball, just because that's where I started to watch it.
You're making me feel old.
Yeah, I beg your pardon. But even so, with guys like Charles Oakley and the Davis twins and some of those 90s players, I think per capita there were way more tough guy dudes in the NBA that played in that time period that just didn't take no bullshit from nobody for no circumstances. And now I feel I could count the number of NBA players that I'm legitimately afraid of on one hand. You know what I mean? They've kind of and maybe some of this has to do with the shit that happened in Detroit and kind of cleaning up the game from there to make sure it doesn't.
Meta world peace, trying to make peace with fans?
Well, technically,
was that Detroit or Indiana?
He was Indiana, and it was in Detroit.
In Detroit Stadium. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And Ron was laying on the table. Ron decided to go take a nap till he got a beer thrown at him.
Literally. So he went and laid down and got a beer thrown at him.
So I have a real hard time to get pissed off at our test.
I love Ron. The dude makes me laugh. He's always made me laugh.
I like the guy. Side story, when he played on the Sacramento Kings for those couple of years when he played with them. And I want to say that was 06 or 07.
Okay.
I had season half season tickets to that. So I went to probably 30 games over that 2-year period. And Reggie Theus coached him, and it was tight. You know what I mean? I went and watched him all the time. I had an old school purple '93 Kings jersey, dude. Okay. I was way into it.
I like it.
Ron still is one of my favorite basketball players, dude.
Meta world peace, the most unpeaceful man in the world. It's incredible.
One day I hope he gets to smell peace. But that's exactly my point. In the 90s, the comparison to Ron was Latrell Sprewell. And Latrell Sprewell fucking choked his coach out.
Yeah,
Ron, you know what I mean? Ron wasn't that kind of crazy.
Well,
you know what I mean? I don't think
just a different kind of crazy. It's still crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
No, but it's just a different you know what I mean? They're fake hard now. Kevin Durant ain't got shit, or not Kevin Durant.
No,
hold on, I misspoke. Kevin Garnett has nothing on fucking Charles Oakley. You know,
Kevin Garnett.
You know what I mean?
Like what?
Like no, but that's what I'm saying though. Like if you're playing in Boston back in the 80s and 90s, like when you were talking about it, like, and you were holding down the power forward spot on that team back then, you had to be a badass.
Yeah.
You couldn't be no fake tough. And like after watching these basketball wives shows and these stupid fucking reality shows, like these old ladies are tougher than their fucking men. Nate, what do you got?
I see Kevin Garnett literally at home practicing his game face in the mirror, like and then like just staring at himself, practicing. Getting after it, and then his wife will say something. Just goes real quick at her. He's like, okay, I got this, baby. And he goes and he acts all badass and mean, bangs on the team, goes crazy. Oh, Kevin Garnett, yeah, he's the hardest man in basketball.
No, but
sorry, Boston and New York.
Gangster.
Or sorry, New Jersey, I apologize.
Brooklyn,
wherever the fuck the team is these days.
But like when you really go and think about it though, like when the biggest problem that the NBA has in 2013, 2014 is like guys may not be that tough and like there might be a little bit of like flopping compared to like where they were pre-David Stern when guys were like selling coke and crack by like the hundreds of thousands and like fighting like at the game and like smoking cigarettes on the bench.
But that's
like,
basketball, man.
No, that's hood. Like we have a sport that has that arrest record. It's called football. We watch it every Sunday. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Chris Johnson making it rain.
Yeah, right.
Hey, do you guys think this thing? Because that maybe the flux of international players coming in helps with the flop because you're saying flopping essentially kind of is a derivative move from soccer, and
it absolutely is.
It's kind of an international play. I think David Stern is somewhat responsible for that by encouraging more and grasping more international players to come and play for the NBA, which I still think is a great thing. But don't you think inherently that the game has changed because of some of these players, though? And not to say that they're less tough, but just the style of play, of how they kind of approach the game, might kind of set a tone in that regard.
Well, here's the deal. The perfect example of the way they changed the game is Dirk Nowitzki. And Dirk Nowitzki
100%.
Dirk Nowitzki far and away invented a position. And this is actually the position that Kevin Durant plays now. And it's called the stretch four. And if you want to go back pre-Dirk Nowitzki, this was Tony Kukoc, who was the unsung hero on the last trifecta of Bulls titles. And I think the finesse element that the international players have brought to the NBA absolutely changes the game. And yeah, it's different, but like I think people want to watch Tony Parker and want to watch Dirk, and like I'm with it. Like I like that shit. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. Tony Kukoc was the first for that position. I would actually argue that Rasheed Wallace was the first of that position, who kind of came through to kind of invent that.
No, I mean like a European.
Yeah, okay.
Tony Kukoc
on an international level.
Tell you, I 100% agree with you. But Dirk, I think Dirk Nowitzki is obviously he's on the downswing of his career at this point. But Dirk added so much to this game. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I still think that he and Kevin Love are the two of the hardest guys to guard in the NBA. Two of the hardest dudes to match up with in the NBA.
Well, I think you throw Durant into that position.
And absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I think Durant, whether he admits it or not, I'm not close personal friends with him, so
I was going to tell you to introduce us.
I can't tell you like who he looked up to as a youngin or nothing, but like
what's his sign?
I gotta think that like he really took a page out of Dirk Nowitzki's book a little bit in terms of like how to play and the way that he the way that he creates scoring opportunities for himself.
And the way
you
he
know what I mean?
plays is so, like, he just makes it look so easy. It's so smooth and so
Yeah.
easy. His shot, and I know the argument is that Golden State.
Bogut?
No, the Golden State point guard, please.
Steph Curry?
Steph Curry. Jesus, I drew another brain fart. Steph
Stop
Curry.
drinking.
I know I should.
Have another beer.
Steph Curry is a ridiculous shooter, but I honestly don't think there's a better shooter on the planet than at this point than KD, than Kevin Durant. Like the guy can hit anywhere from at any time on the court, and he can go in the paint and just make you look stupid. Like it's
The Slim Reaper.
the Slim Reaper, dude. The guy's a monster.
Yeah, I mean, shooter, I mean, I don't know. That's a little too subjective for me, or objective, or whatever the fucking one is, where it's an opinion. But like, I think he's certainly the most creative scorer in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's a pain in the ass to stop. Like,
But
know?
you would. Who's a better shooter besides maybe Steph Curry? Literally, like right now, I want you to give me a name
Whole fucking Golden
in the
State
NBA
backcourt.
who is a better shooter than Kevin Durant, leaving out Steph Curry.
Yeah, I don't want to argue with you about Kevin Durant. Like, I really don't have an
We're
argument.
gonna argue, Joe.
Like, I really don't have. Like, I really don't. Like,
I want you to argue with me, Joe.
I don't really like. I don't really
man.
like. You know, I really like him too. Like, what do you want me to tell you?
Fair enough. Okay.
Like,
I'll take
the
that.
guy hit a fucking game winner. But like, you know, maybe the international guys playing has like softened the game a little bit. But I think it changed the game also to allow like a 6'11" skinny guy fucking put up 30 points for the last, week and a half. Like, that's fucking cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking rap.
Yeah,
Like,
it also allowed a team besides the United States to win in the Olympics.
hey, that was on some hook boogie bullshit when we brought the C team. Like, fuck the dream team, dude. That was the C team, dude. That was some bogus. Like, first of all, if the Team USA doesn't win a fucking Olympic basketball competition, like, don't even bother coming back.
What a disaster that was. That was.
like
That was.
the worst.
Oh
Wasn't
God.
like Carmelo Anthony
Oh,
like
yeah.
the best player on that team?
Yes, he
And
was.
by the way, shout out Carmelo Anthony.
Melo's
for the
been
last-
balling.
For the last 2 games that you had.
He's
like,
been balling.
fucking hell yeah, dude.
Iverson was on that
62
team.
in Madison Square the other night.
Yeah, and then
Oh
he had
my
like,
God.
He had like 39 the day after.
But 62.
Wow.
This is the most impressive with his 62 with 0 turnovers.
Nice.
wow.
He had 62 points with 0 turnovers that
Nice.
game.
That's impressive.
That's
impressive.
out of control.
That's awesome.
That's efficient.
That's out of control.
Maximum.
That's Japanese.
Yeah. So I mean that. Yeah. He's been balling his brains out for the last few days.
Hell yeah, dude. Melo, we're with him, man.
Absolutely.
But like the other guys like on the international tip that we gotta kind of give credit for too a little bit. That's kind of morphed the game some. Is guys like Vlade Divac and Arvydas Sabonis.
Oh, bloody.
Sabonis.
that like really have like made it okay to like not have a traditional back to the back center. And if you look at the league right now, there's probably 3 teams, maybe 4 or 5 if you want to argue with me, that have like a legit back to the back or back to the basket center.
Yeah.
And like
Well, the big power man inside the big power center is kind of a dying breed in the NBA. Like it's
and I think
Ever since
that the international players and just not even necessarily like the players directly, but like the way the game changed once the international players were influx is a reason why the back to the basket center is kind of a dying breed. Like if you look at all the advanced metrics right now, your traditional post ups are actually some of the lowest efficiency rates of any offensive play that you can run in a half-court set. So, like, it completely has changed the game in that sense. And, like, I don't know. I think it's made for more scoring and more dynamic players and just, like, a faster-paced game, and I'm with it. And, like, fuck yeah, man, David Stern, like, here's to you.
And you've got lazy-ass players that are these big men that are their potential. You have an Andrew Bynums that are that are out there that are just a disaster. The potential of an Andrew Bynum is incredible. His potential, his skill set is ridiculous. But he's such a cocky prick, and he's such a lazy bastard that he refuses to the way I say that, not knowing him, but saying that because watching him, the way he carries himself in life, as far as how he in and out of the news, with his neighbors, with the police, like when you watch him on the bench, when you watch him with his teams, how much of it you can just tell he's just like this. No one can deal with him. He's such a cocky prick.
I feel the same way.
It's incredible.
Entirely through, yeah.
It's incredible. The kid could have been such a monster in the NBA. He had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that wanted to just fucking be by his side and coach his ass. Kareem was like, this kid has so much potential, and I will coach the hell out of this kid. He didn't want it. He got paid, and he's like, woo, I got paid. I don't have to do anything. That's to me, that's kind of I don't know. And Dwight Howard isn't like Dwight Howard. Obviously has a bigger work ethic, and he's doing, he's still actually trying the ball in the NBA, but Dwight Howard still, in my opinion, has that same attitude. Not quite to the extent of an Andrew Bynum, but I think that's why the big man is dying. Ever since Shaq went away, Shaq's skill set was, if Shaq had actually ever really, really, really applied himself, he would have been the most unstoppable force. If he had actually gone to the gym every day and done his most unstoppable force in basketball history, and he was to a point, but then his body gave out on him because he didn't work hard enough.
All he had to do was learn how to shoot free throws.
How much do you think that the defensive rule changes have affected the big man game?
Well,
is that no charge zone? Is that still around?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah,
okay.
It's around. If you're a professional athlete, you have to learn to adjust with whatever they're throwing at you. And Dwight Howard's still a dominant center. He's still a dominant center. He is, but he should be from where he was with Orlando to where he is now. Dwight Howard should be a lot more advanced in his career as far as the numbers he puts up.
One thing that I'll say on this, one bad move that David Stern did make in terms of rule changes and kind of some BS before we talk about his protege Gary Bettman and how he's gonna fix the NHL and run it into the ground. Mm-hmm. When the NBA changed the ball for that year, remember when they changed the ball and they took away that one seam on the side of the ball and screwed everything up? That was a stupid fucking idea. Why? I don't know why I ever did that, but that was just a really fucking dumb idea. That's all I got.
And you bring up Gary Bettman. Okay, it's the old Stern protege. I know you've been chomping at the bit to talk about him, so we're gonna go away, I think, right now from the NBA and start. Do you want to talk about?
Yeah. Here's the deal. Look, it's what is it? January 27th today.
Ish.
The
more or less.
The NHL just did three stadium series games. They got another one tomorrow or the next day, and then another one a few days down the road.
The popularity of NHL right now is probably higher than it's been in years.
Yeah, the Detroit Red Wings game that they did in Ann Arbor, Michigan, at the Big House where University of Michigan plays, drew over 100,000 people.
It's crazy.
In the snow. And then there were 50,000 plus people for the game at Dodger Stadium, and then another 50,000 at Yankee Stadium with a ticket price somewhere. Even the cheap seats for those games were $2. What is that, Mike? What do you got? Okay. Wonderful.
I was trying to give you hand signals, Joe. Come on.
I thought we were gonna be the new. I thought we were gonna be the new Flash Brothers or something. You guys keep sucking cock. You guys keep just doing that. I'll just whip it out right now. You can start to tug. But no, shit. I completely lost everything we were talking about. I think a lot of people went to some hockey games over the weekend or something.
The Winter Classic was incredible. I will say this: watching it at Dodger Stadium, I did not go. I had some friends that did, but this is the outdoor games.
Stop lying. You don't have any friends.
Well, come on, man, Joe. The outdoor games in hockey they're there for show. They're there for the I don't know, the whole nostalgia of it all. The spectacle. It's a big parade, pretty much.
It's a Hollywood production.
It's a Hollywood production. Well, the one at Dodger Stadium was, because they played in 67, the hottest hockey game in history, 67 degrees, for God's sake.
Southernmost outdoor
I thought
NHL
I was going to
game.
have to wear a hoodie for that.
No, I was. If I had gone to the game, I might have worn shorts.
It was a little cold. Of course, then again, I've been living in LA too long. I'm a weather pussy.
Yeah, you've been living in LA way too long. 67 degrees is you're like my wife.
I need a sweater.
But my point is this: like
Yeah,
LA,
what's your point?
LA made it a giant spectacle. You prick. They made it a huge spectacle, and it was fun. It was great. Kiss played, and they had the beach volleyball. They had the air hockey, human-sized air hockey table.
I'm not sure if Kiss played. They were on stage.
They were on stage. You're right. You have a point. They were there, but. And on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, in New York, it was snowing and it was below. The temperatures were. But that's the thing. There's outdoor hockey. There's no good ice. Whether the LA ice turned to slush, the New York ice was just snow and hard as a rock, and you couldn't. I mean, there's nothing you can do with it. So outdoor hockey sucks. It's fun. The spectacle is fun. The idea is fun. But nobody wants it.
Don't you think that romanticism of it being played outdoors has some type of draw to the younger fans that are maybe too ignorant or just too close-minded to maybe appreciate hockey?
Absolutely. Well, I think that's the point of it. It's the spectacle.
Do you think that works? I guess is what I'm asking. Because I see what you mean too. Because you want the quality of game to still hold true. You want the old fans still be able to appreciate it as still hockey though, but is it killing it? Is it dying?
No, I don't think it's killing it. I think it's helping the popularity. I really believe it's helping the popularity. But it's but at the same time, you can't have too many of them. Like I don't want there to be like 7 or 8 of them, because it's just gonna kill the quality of hockey.
No, I think it's absolutely improving the popularity. I think what this is showing the NHL, and maybe this is unintentional, but I think that they're seeing that there's perhaps a larger market for hockey than they may realize.
So, I tend to agree with what Jared said, that there's absolutely a larger market. And to that end, another thing that I get excited about hockey is not even a casual fan, it's just like a passing observer of the sport, is the international patriotism involved in Olympic hockey. And the Olympics start in 10 or 11 days right now. So, I'm definitely going to be watching every game of that, even though I have to wake up at 4 in the morning and watch the fucking Russians because they decided to put the Olympics in that stupid commie spot. I thought we told them we weren't going to do that anymore.
I'm not quite sure why they would put Olympics or World Cup, the two biggest tournaments on the planet, why they would put it in a country that's not safe.
Yeah,
why are you going to make these athletes that are training for this? This is their life dream. And then the Americans recently were told, just to keep in mind, getting away from the gays. First of all, if you got a boyfriend, don't hold his hand. Second of all, if you leave the Olympic complex, make sure you're not wearing any U.S. colors.
Yeah,
make sure you're not wearing any. Don't let them know you're American. I mean, are you fucking kidding me?
So basically, don't wear anything.
Yeah, are you fucking kidding me? Like, why are the Olympics in Sochi fucking Russia? Like, why? This makes no sense.
I feel so bad. Well, you touched on something. I feel so bad for the athletes because what you're saying, you train your entire life and you're going to Russia and you're training for your country and now you can't even wear the same fucking colors as your country.
You can't.
That blows my mind.
They were told not if you leave the Olympic complex, make sure you do not wear.
It directly compromises your security.
Yes, it directly compromises your security.
Whoa.
If you do not, if you wear red, white, and blue.
To word it like that is sketchy.
Right? Right? It's like, why are the Olympics, I say again, why are the Olympics in Sochi, Russia? It's just, I mean, come on, man. Put them in fucking Kentucky. It's safe as shit in Kentucky. There's not shit happening in Kentucky. They would love, they got whiskey.
Yeah.
You know, they got some great bourbon over there.
Yelling and shooting off some shit. But that's
Put
it.
it in Canada or like
Exactly.
Italy somewhere.
Canada.
Like Western Europe is cool, dude. Like I have no problem with France.
Stick with the one.
Australia sounds
We
fun.
can party in France.
But it's the Winter
Sydney
Olympics.
Olympics.
How about Austria, man? Like how about Austria? Like,
Austria,
we could
well,
do
Austria, the Olympics have been in Austria. Yeah,
Sounds
they're
cold,
great.
but yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
but
winter.
it's
Winter
Fucking-
Olympics.
It's Winter Olympics. It's perfect. Switzerland.
But so let's go to the most unsafe spot that we
always
can think
Switzerland.
of.
Yeah,
And make
get
our
everybody in the world together. Like, let's put everybody in the world in one spot, and let's go get got by the Russians.
This is a genius idea. Sochi, you win.
Sochi won.
But no, like, okay, so digression and bullshit aside, and yeah, like, fuck Russia, but like, the NHL is gonna have an opportunity to really capitalize on a marketing push, and I feel like they've had multiple opportunities to capitalize on similar marketing pushes over time, and Bettman and the crew at the NHL just kind of like have it. Like, say what you want about basketball or whatever, like, in America, like, which is why they hired fucking Gary Bettman.
America.
Gary Bettman was hired by the NHL owners to popularize the game in America. And if you're going to do that, you got to make some headway to close the gap to make hockey a more popular sport among the public and close it to where basketball is right now. And my question is just, what the fuck are they going to do?
I think the primary way of really being able to do that properly would be to start hockey programs at every school across America. But I don't see that happening.
I mean, that's in theory, that's great. There's already that. I mean, across the United States, there's already programs in high schools that actually have hockey programs.
In places where it snows, it's not that uncommon.
Well, exactly. And actually, some places, even in Florida, there's a few places that have it incorporated. But obviously, it's not every city across the country. But I mean, you're right. Like, it's as far as educating all the kids about hockey. Basically, a kid is going to be a hockey fan if their parents are hockey fans. You know, my daughter is. She already can sing, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" fucking verbatim. I told you guys earlier, and she can
because
sing.
you drag your poor kid to like half a dozen Dodger games.
She's not even 4 years old, and a year ago she could sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," verbatim, and now it's just getting better and stronger. It's good, But my point is this: I'm a diehard baseball I'm a diehard baseball fan first, diehard Dodger fan second. Anybody who's have you guys heard about the little Seahawks girl in Seattle? She's 3 years old. She's already met the entire Seattle Seahawks football team, and she can tell you it's incredible. If you haven't seen it, look it up. She can tell you their entire lineup, all their wide receivers, all their entire defensive core. Everybody, and she does a little cheer. Like the little girl is ridiculous. Pete Carroll, ESPN did a little thing with her, and he's like, I want you to tell me this. Who are all of our wide receivers? Boom, 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 boom. She named every one of their wide receivers. She's like, who's our fullback? She named their fullback. Who's our linebacking core? All of her all their linebackers. She's 3 years old, and she has you watch her and she has so much fun with it. My point is this:
ESPN will be starting a school for.
They should.
They should, absolutely.
Jalen Rose is already there, dude.
Whatever our kids are gonna love whatever their parents love. Period. You know, my daughter's gonna be a Gator fan, a Saints fan, and a Dodger fan. And she's gonna, eventually she'll realize that I do like the Kings as well. Because Kings, I'm sorry, I love you, LA Kings, but hockey's my least favorite. Not my least favorite sport. It's my least favorite team of my favorites. But what's up, Joe?
He's flustered.
I wonder. I feel like NHL has been in this situation before, where they've had a little marketing push, where people have gotten into it, and they've fucking rubbed everybody up, and people's dicks get hard, and then they don't do anything to fucking finish the job ever. And I just
blue balls all around.
And I just feel like they're gonna do that again. Like I really do. I just feel like they're gonna get all this popularity, and I'm gonna watch like the U.S. and Canada play for some medal, and I'm gonna get stoked, and Canada's gonna beat the U.S. again because that's what they do, and that's what they should do. Like, there's no fucking way that they would beat us in basketball, so why would we beat them in hockey? Like, you know what I mean?
We've beaten Canada in hockey before.
Yeah, we've also beaten Russia.
Exactly. Oh, look
But,
at you! Look at you pulling out it. Oh, look at that! Look at that!
No. Like
the miracle on ice.
I'm with it. Like I'm with it. I get it. Like I really like Olympic hockey. Like I enjoy it a lot. I really will watch every game and I will follow it and so on and so forth. But the question is like, how are they going to take the popularity that they gain and the attention of the casual fans like myself and turn that into somebody that's going to watch, 2 or 3 hockey games a week as opposed to like 7 or 9 basketball games? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
That's my question.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know if it translates. I think about the way that you approach the World Cup and how fans naturally root for your fellow countrymen or you have your favorite national team. But when it comes out throughout the year, though, those fans don't translate into MLS watchers, though. Nor are they going to watch Bundesliga or are they going to watch Barclays Premiership League. So I don't know if it will translate. I think it could be difficult for us.
What's bizarre to me about soccer fans is like when it comes to because obviously soccer is worldwide, biggest sport on the planet. But if you're a whatever league you are a fan of, whether it's Bundesliga, whether it's you do not like the other leagues. And well, I take that back. MLS is like the fucking redheaded stepchild.
Entirely.
It's the redheaded stepchild.
It really is.
Soccer in Europe and South America, they're all like, yeah. But we're not going to get into soccer right now. We will get into soccer soon. World Cup's coming up, and we're going to get into soccer.
I guess.
We are.
Don't threaten me.
We are.
Listen to Joe.
We're talking
NHL
soccer.
seize the moment. Joe says
No,
carpe
but
diem.
it's just like what I mean. It probably won't translate. I tend to agree with you, Mike. It probably won't. But like, as a league, as a business, you can't not try shit.
You have to. You
And
have to push
my
forward.
thing is like, try it. Like, I understand that outdoor hockey sucks and the game conditions are terrible and all that, and like logistically it's bad.
Yeah, and they could get rid of the whole sideshow circus
But,
of
like,
fucking outdoor volleyball. And
Well,
whatever
that's
else
just
is
LA.
going on.
That's the first time. That's just LA.
If you bank on that, like, why not find more ways to incorporate that? Or if there's another idea, if it's something else, maybe you take the sideshow inside. And maybe that sideshow inside is what will get more people to watch it on TV. Like, the thing that I find entirely interesting about this is NHL is the only North American professional sport that doesn't have a deal with ESPN.
Oh, and they haven't for a long time.
That is fascinating.
Yeah, long
And
time.
with
That's fascinating.
as crazy, not just like.
And even in playoffs, that's the mind-boggling thing.
Yeah,
In playoffs,
like-
you have to have cable with like a packge to
Yeah.
Fox got the lockdown.
NHL.
It used to be on Versus until Comcast bought Versus.
Versus is no
And-
more.
No,
yeah.
well, Comcast bought it, and that's what NBC Sports.
Well,
fucking-
okay,
That's
fair
Versus
enough.
now.
Okay.
But like, I mean, I don't know where to find that. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, like even if you take the TV out of it, which I mean, I know that's stupid.
You
but
can't,
like,
really.
ESPN, like their digital platform is just so much more progressive and so much more on top of it than like NBC Sports and like all the podcasts. Like unless I'm gonna follow like a beat writer of a team, like there's nowhere to go get like insider information on hockey, for one. For two, like you got your stars, you got your Crosbys, you got, you know what I mean, you got your Ovechkins and you got those guys.
Sid the Kid.
But you, like a casual fan doesn't really know like any of the other players. Like they don't have like a Pac-Man Jones or something where you know him for just like being in the fucking news.
Yeah.
You-
For
you know
raining
what I mean?
money
Like,
on hookers and then being like, that's my money, give it back.
if you're gonna why not create some sort of relationship with like secondary and tertiary players? Just like create it. Like if you got an enforcer that beats a guy's ass, like somebody needs to get that guy an Adidas deal or
I
something.
agree with you
You know what I
wholeheartedly.
mean? Like, why not?
Wholeheartedly.
Like, what? Like, and that's my question. Just what the fuck are they gonna do? Like, I feel like they've been in this position before, and like, I haven't even heard them try.
Do any of us? Do me a favor. Somebody research. What's the contract on the NHL? How long is NHL's contract with their current TV contract? Like,
Is that with Fox?
I really want to know.
I
what
think
that
it's
is.
up in 2017. I'll look it up like for sure, but I had it like
Because like that's the most amazing thing to me about the NHL. First and foremost, the fact that for so very long they haven't been able. You can't watch them on regular cable or even well you can watch them on regular TV. You can watch them on NBC. But regular cable, I can hear you, Joe.
no. Just from Mike, like we found out that their current TV contract with NBC is 2021, and also
2020.
I read
It
this,
started in 2006.
and I read this earlier. That's also a deal,
Wow.
and correct me if I'm wrong on this
Wow.
because it looks like you have it in front of you, but that's also a deal where they got no upfront money, if I'm not mistaken. It's a revenue sharing deal. They did not get money put into the pot or anything like that. It's strictly revenue sharing.
Wow, that in itself is the biggest problem with the NHL popularity.
Yeah, they're fucked for 15 years.
Exactly. That's that.
Like, I can't even get into hockey. Like, we can't even discuss
You can have a
it.
list of like the things that are wrong with making hockey popular, but you can stop after the
Yeah.
first one. The fact that you can't see them on regular fucking
Yeah.
cable.
And like, just to tie in the conversation, just to like really fucking drive home the point.
2000, really?
Just
2021.
Oh my god!
just
wow.
to drive home the
They're hanging
point.
themselves.
Yeah,
They have
that's
somewhere
incredible.
And that just drives home the point of how fucking badass David Stern is or was, because he put NBA in the homes of people in 215
Yeah,
countries.
you're right.
215 fucking places. I watched the 30 for 30. I love those fucking things.
Oh, they're best.
On the St. Louis Spirit, the ABA team out of St. Louis.
I didn't see that one. Okay.
It's actually one of my favorite ones. I strongly recommend you watching it. When the ABA merged, the owners of the St. Louis Spirits, they didn't make the merger. It was the Spurs, the Nets, the Pacers, and the Nuggets were the teams that made the merger. And St. Louis was like the first team to get clipped. And as the severance package for their clip, they got 4/7. They got 1/7 of a television share in the 70s of each team that made it to the NBA. So the owners of the St. Louis Spirit get 4/7 of a full television share dropped into their bank account every year or every quarter. And those units are just getting fucking paid on paid. And that's why David Stern is the fucking man.
But I will say, he's a prick.
Fair enough. But he's still the man.
He is. No,
superior fandom.
Superior fandom. What's up, buddy?
No, I was just going to say I think you should maybe have a sip of water and then perhaps tell all of our 15 followers where they could catch us on Sunday afternoon.
Well, I'm just going to remind everybody real quick, actually, please don't forget, if you have sat through this entire podcast, which we hope you did.
No, you didn't.
I feel like this one was pretty fun, except for my brain fart earlier and now I could go back and talk about what I forgot, but it doesn't matter. It's over.
We don't
It's
care
over.
about
Nobody cares.
We'll cut it out in post.
Exactly.
No one's listening.
Thank you, brother. Anyways, please, Super Bowl Sunday. That's February 2nd. We're broadcasting live from the Down and Out bar in downtown LA.
At 1.
There's gonna be a salmon toss.
1 o'clock. We're grilling a salmon. It's shipped up directly from Seattle that day, or the day before, rather. And it's going to be good, guys. If you can't make it to the bar to see us, please tune in. Please.
Free pizza from Chapman. Show up at 1.
Chapman is going to.
Oh my God!
And they're going to provide us with some tasty grub. 1 to 2, we're doing the podcast. If you can't be there, tune in. The link will be at Superior Fandom. You can find us at superiorfandom.com. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We have our YouTube channel. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
Peace.